Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight in Houston, the Tigers and Astros once again get together, and after managing only one hit last night, Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers hope the offense gets going tonight. Welcome to Minute Maid Park, Game 2 in this 4-game series featuring the Tigers and the Astros. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. It was a long night last night for the Tigers. Of course, the Tigers were extremely tired last night, Rod. Hopefully they've got a little bit more pep in their step tonight.
Well, I think the guys got themselves a really nice night of rest last night after arriving at 5 p.m. the prior night, and they're going to need that rest, and they're going to have to go out and match this intensity of this Houston Astros team, which has already won 30 games. They've got the best record in all of baseball. They're 15 games over 500. It's a good baseball team.
Pretty good matchup tonight as far as the pitching is concerned. We'll start with the Tigers. Jordan Zimmerman, really not all that good this year overall in terms of ERA. It's over 6, but against the Astros, pretty good numbers.
You know, I think that's what he's going to hang his hat on today. He threw the ball a little bit better in his last time out. I was talking to Rich Doobie before the game today. He said he loved the way the fastball was coming out of his hand. He also said he's going to need that breaking ball today against a lot of these right-handed batters. The Houston Astros, if they struggle against one pitch, it's against that breaking ball, and he's going to need that, however, here today.
All right, nobody talks about Lance McCullers Jr. here in Houston. They do, but Dallas Keuchel seems to be the kingpin. This guy, though, going tonight, McCullers Jr., he's as good as it gets in the American League.
You know, this is kind of his coming out party this year, Lance McCullers Jr. The guy's always had wipeout stuff, but he's never been able to stay healthy. He's got a fastball that gets in the mid-90s, but it's his curveball that we're going to pay special attention to tonight. You look at the numbers there on the right. He's thrown more than anybody in the sport. He gets more strikeouts with that pitch than anybody in the sport, and the average velocity is 86 to 87 miles an hour. Hitters know the breaking ball is coming from Lance McCullers Jr., and they simply cannot hit that pitch. He throws it all the time with 2 strikes. If you're the Tigers, you have to try to hit the first pitch fastballs because he will throw you a first pitch fastball.
All right, Game 2 just minutes away. After a short break, we send you to the Colsham Studios. Check in with John Keating. Coming up in this one tonight, we'll see if the bullpen has say in this one this evening for the Tigers. They are turning it around. The month of May has been awesome for the Tigers pen. Stay with us. Tigers Astros, Game 2 next. Tigers fans at Minute Maid Park. Yeah, that one's very nice. The Tigers and Astros here. Game 2 of the series. The Tigers starting lineup here this evening is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Roof closed again here tonight in Houston. It'll be Kinsler, Castellanos, and Cabrera in the top 3 spots. V-Mart, the DH, J.D. Martinez in right field. Justin Upton back in the lineup in left. And a bottom 3 of Matuk, McCann, and Iglesias. And they are facing very talented right-hander, Lance McCullers Jr. He is presented by Jeff Clever and Associates Realtors.
And pretty much the coming out party for Lance McCullers Jr. this year. He checks in 4-1 with an outstanding ERA. He's got above average stuff with a mid-90s heater, an outstanding breaking ball, and he's throwing a lot more changeups these days to lefties and righties. Let's take a look at the Houston Astros starting defense. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons. This is how they line it up left to right. They've got Reddick, they've got Marisnick in there in center field tonight. George Springer, he slides over to right. Gonzalez, Altuve up the middle. Bregman and Gurriel on the corners, and Centeno. He's the receiver here tonight, catching the youngster, Lance McCullers Jr.
Here is what it looks like in the American League Central Division coming into play tonight. The Minnesota Twins continue to surprise. A 1-game lead over Cleveland Tigers. 1 game under the 500 mark and 3 games back, but a long way to go in this baseball season.
No one wants to run away with the American League Central.
Nope, it's been close and hotly contested for the first couple of months of the year. Ian Kinsler is settling into the batter's box. We are just about ready for baseball tonight. Roof is closed, raining outdoors, but indoors very, very nice. A very nice facility here in Houston, Minute Maid Park. The scene for the next 3 nights. This will be a 4-game series. Here is Kinsler to get it started for the Tigers. He had his 8-game hitting streak come to a close in last night's ball game. Ian was 0 for 4, batting .240 on the season.
Yeah, not a whole lot of offense going on last night for the boys. They only got 1 hit.
And McCullers delivers a strike right at the bottom of the zone, 0-1.
And when you look at McCullers' numbers this season, you look at his strikeouts to walks ratio, and that's pretty much a telltale sign of why he's been having so much success. He used to be a guy that walked a lot of batters. He's not doing that. He's also very healthy. He's attacking the strike zone, and as a result, the results have been very positive for him so far this year.
Here's the 1-1. Kinsler looks at a ball outside, 2-1.
As a matter of fact, Dallas Keuchel, who was on the disabled list, he and McCullers Jr., they're one of the best 1-2 combinations in all of baseball. 11-1 combined with a 2 ERA.
McCullers would be the ace of the staff had it not been for Keuchel in his resurgence this year. There's a swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
95 with the fastball. We haven't even seen the devastating breaking ball yet, but more than likely we'll see it right here. He loves to throw it with 2 strikes.
Castellanos waiting on deck, back in the 2 spot for the Tigers. Centeno doing the catching tonight. And there's the deuce, and it's grounded foul.
And let's take a look at the pitch usage of Lance McCullers Jr. And you can see right here that curveball, a heavy dose of those.
2-2 on Kinsler. Ground ball, third base side, foul. Ian was 0 for 4 last night. The Tigers managed only 1 hit of the ball game. That was a single by Mikey Matuk. They had a couple of walks and a hit batter, but really that was it. Michael Fulmer threw a gem, but was not rewarded. And Kinsler is hit by the pitch, and he'll take first base. Well, the Tigers get the leadoff man on tonight.
That's why McCullers really does not use his 4-seam fastball all that often, because he has a difficult time of commanding that 4-seam fastball. That's a 4-seamer that just runs in off the left thigh of Ian Kinsler. That's why he throws more sinkers, and he also throws a lot of breaking balls. And something else that he does very well, he gets a lot of ground balls. So we might see some of the Tigers that can run tonight maybe take off for second base and stay out of some of these double plays with all the ground balls that McCullers has been throwing this year.
Here is Castellanos. Nick sends a ground ball up the middle, could be 2. They'll flip the second one, and Altuve's relay is a double play.
Well, you knew that was coming.
6-4-3, 2 out, nobody on.
Yeah, this is about as tailor-made as they get. And right off the bat of Nicholas Castellanos, right to Gonzalez. And Altuve with the turnover to the first baseman, Gurriel.
So they're empty now for Miguel Cabrera. Miggy at 261, 5 homers this year. He was 0 for 2 with a walk last night. Ball 1 outside. Cabrera in 29 games in this ballpark career has knocked in 20 runs. I would assume that you could look up the numbers on just about any ballpark, and Miguel would have good numbers. The 1-0.
And Miguel Cabrera has been in the Tigers uniform for a decade. He first put it on in the year of 2008. And since he's put the uniform on, he ranks first or second in just about every major offensive category.
1-2 on Cabrera.
And that's a decade of work.
There you go. 313 of his home runs have been hit in a Tigers uniform. 451 overall for Miggy. Another foul ball. 1-2. By the way, here are the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company. Well, we know inside it's going to be nice. The roof is closed. Outside it's 78. Thunderstorms tonight here in Houston, but that will not affect us because of the roof. A little bit outside and high. 2-2 now on Miguel.
It was a beautiful day in downtown Houston this afternoon. A lot of sunshine. Got a little pool time in today.
Did you?
Yeah.
You know, for a moment I thought about walking to the ballpark today. Then I stepped outside and said, no thanks. A little bit humid. Here's a dry foul back out of play. How's the pool here in Houston?
Nice.
Hotel, nice.
Nice hotel. Nice pool.
Tigers, of course, I would imagine a few of them slept in this morning.
Yeah, just a few of them.
If not all of them. It's one of the cool things about this ballpark. The train out there in left center field. There's a bouncer up the middle. Altuve hadn't played perfectly. And that is that for the Tigers. No runs, a hit batter, nobody left. Here comes Zim. In this series, Tigers and Astros. The Astros starting lineup presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. It'll be Springer, Reddick, and Altuve in the top 3 spots. Carlos Beltran is batting cleanup. Correa's out of the game tonight. Gonzalez, Gurriel, you got Bregman, Centeno, and Marisnik in the bottom 3 spots. Jordan Zimmerman tonight presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and electrical.
And we gave you the numbers on Jordan Zimmermann in his career against the Houston Astros. He hasn't seen them in a couple of years, but when he has seen them, he's been very, very good against them. In 5 starts, the ERA is under 3. He'll have to be on top of his game tonight to beat them.
Springer leads it off for the Astros.
Springer's struggling right now. He has 1 for his last 14 with 9 strikeouts, so he's been swinging and missing quite a bit.
When he's going good, he's a dynamic player, one of the most dynamic in the league because of his speed and his power. The 0-1 is inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, he's one of the few leadoff hitters in our sport that is basically standing in scoring position right now. He can drive himself in. 9 homers, a lot of those in that leadoff spot, obviously.
And Springer looks at a ball outside.
Talking to Rich Doobie before the game, he talked about the importance of first pitch strikes for Jordan Zimmermann. That would allow him to get to the breaking balls. That would allow him to exploit some of the weaknesses of some of these young hitters. They still will chase a lot of pitches. That would be the Houston Astros.
Leadoff man Springer now has gone ahead 3-1. Well, I know this. The Tigers want to start seeing some results out of Zim. Now, he's been the recipient of a lot of offensive support this year. But for them to get anywhere this year, they'll need that 3rd guy in the rotation to pitch well. And there's a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Yeah, good fastball at 93. A little late life on that 2-seamer thrown to Springer. Carlos Torres is the home plate umpire this evening.
How about this? 9.47 runs of support. Most in the majors. There's a foul back to the screen. We're talking about Springer. Do you see him settling into the middle of this Astros lineup as his career progresses?
I really do. I don't think he's a very high on-base percentage guy. He's not going to hit for a high batting average. I think he'd be better served batting in that 4th or 5th spot, 6th, where he can really let it hang out all the time and drive in a lot of runs. He's already doing a very nice job this year with runners in scoring position, so no issue for him batting lower in the lineup.
He does give you, as we have talked about several times, that element of power in the leadoff spot. And when he connects, he can get you off to a lead. He's got 5 leadoff home runs this year, which is tied with Corey Dickerson for the most in the American League.
We'll see if Jordan has any confidence in his breaking ball tonight. This might be an opportunity to throw one.
And he missed inside.
Same way the ball game started last night for the Houston Astros. Let's take a look at this Tigers starting defense. It is brought to you by Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning. Upton back in there tonight after a night off last night. Second start in center field for Mikey Montook, J.D. Martinez in right. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, the big fella, Miggy at first, and James McCann, who had the night off last night, back in there behind the dish this evening.
Yeah, Justin is out there in left field. Iglesias is back at short tonight, so a couple of the regulars had the night off last night. There's a strike called on Josh Reddick.
And Josh Reddick had a couple of knocks in last night's game, a couple of singles right back up the middle. Having a decent start to his first year in a Houston Astros uniform, 286 with 6 and 19 RBI.
Springer down at first, draws a throw, has not stolen this year, he's been caught a couple of times. Reddick, a well-traveled ball player. You might remember him in his days with the Oakland A's, had some good years with the Athletics. 32 home runs in the 2012 season for the A's. Now the 0-1, showing bunt outside 1-1. We talk about Zimrod, and one of the things that we've constantly said, or at least did a lot of last year, that he didn't walk too many guys, and the walks this year seem to be up a little bit.
Yeah, he appears at times to me to be pitching away from contact, and which is not uncommon to a guy that has been struggling, a guy that's been giving up quite a few hits. But it's going to be important for him to attack the strike zone tonight against this squad.
Broken Mataluca into right center field. That's going to drop, base hit. Springer will go to second, and Reddick has his third hit of the series already. 2 on, nobody out.
And Josh Reddick, he's just going good right now. That's a breaking ball that shattered the bat of Josh Reddick, but he's strong enough to muscle it into shallow center field for a single. Well, you know Altuve in that number 3 spot, more than likely he's not up there bunting, even though he fits the profile of a bunter. And that bodes well for the Tigers because Jose has grounded into 8 twin killings this year. So if you're Jordan Zimmerman, that's exactly what you need right now. You need a ground ball.
Altuve doubled in a run in the first inning last night. And there's ball 1. The first inning has been an issue for Zimmerman this year. His ERA is over 7 in the first inning. And so tonight we're kind of heading down that path. And now here comes Doug Teeter heading out to the mound. Saw this last night with Fulmer.
Yeah, Fulmer slipped, though, and I think that was the concern with him. I don't know what the concern is with Zim. Does he have a blister?
Well, that would not be good.
Not at all.
You don't want to see a guy come out here in the first inning. There appears to be blood on the pants. There you go, of Jordan.
Yeah, so he's dealing with some type of issue with one of the fingers.
So the Tigers will keep a close eye on that to be sure. 1 ball to no strikes on Altuve. Pops this one high in the air to right center field. It's going to be Matuk. Runners will tag but hold. 1 away. That'll bring up Beltran. Beltran bumped up to clean up today with Carlos Correa out of the lineup. Correa came to the ballpark yesterday, wasn't feeling all that good, but played. And then today showed up and just couldn't go. So Beltran hitting cleanup. DHing this afternoon or this evening. Zim in some early trouble here. A walk by Springer, a single by Reddick. And Beltran looks at a ball outside. Breaking ball from Zimmerman.
And Beltran only batting .239, batting left-handed so far this year. He's had a marvelous career. Some believe he's headed to the Hall of Fame when he shuts it down.
Well, you look at the numbers, and he's awfully close, I think. The other thing, Rob, that he brings to a relatively young club here is playoff experience. I mean, this guy has appeared in a lot of playoff games, 54 to be exact.
And great leadership skills in the clubhouse. He's a great leader of men, and that's one of the reasons why they decided to bring him in, along with Brian McCann, Josh Reddick.
2 balls and 1 strike. Speaking of Mr. Beltran, Chevy's most dependable players. Beltran, and you've got a couple of them in this series. And Victor Martinez, their ranks among active switch hitters, they're right up there.
Yeah, both have had great careers. It's tough enough to try to master one side of the plate if you bat right-handed or left-handed. But these guys have been able to master both sides of the dish, which is amazing, with power. We were looking up some numbers yesterday on Victor Martinez. He's been in the major leagues for over a decade, and his career batting average is nearly 300, batting right-handed and left-handed, which is amazing to me.
I still don't get that because, you know, most switch hitters have one dominant side. But Victor's been just about equal on both ends.
Zim still looking for a ground ball here. Beltran does not run as well as he used to.
Swing and a miss.
He'll take that too.
He got him on strikes. That was a fastball up, and Zimmerman gets his first strikeout of the game. 2 gone.
Good four-seam fastball here, top of the zone. Throws it right by Beltran. Here's where Zim has struggled this year. He's given up 32 two-out runs already this year. 21 two-out runs, excuse me. That's quite a few.
Well, he's got a guy in Marlon Gonzalez who's having a fabulous start to the year. He's got 10 homers, 26 RBIs.
Yeah, 21 of the 32 runs with 2 outs, so he needs to concentrate here.
Bender drops in for a strike. Gonzalez filling in a short tonight for Correa, trying to pick up a couple of runners. Springer and Reddick.
Gonzalez doesn't play every day, but yet he leads their team in homer and RBIs. He's having a sensational start to the 2017 season.
One of the reasons may be his added patience. He is on pace to walk 50 times this year, and he only walked 22 times last year. So he's on pace to more than double his walks. He took a big rip there, man. He ended up on his knee. And now he's behind in the count 0-2. Good block by McCann. Well, this is not good for the Astros. They were able to squeak out a win last night, but in their last 4, they're 0 for 16 with the men in scoring position. A.J. Hinch, though, has his team in first place in the West. 30 victories, the first team in baseball to get to the 30 plateau.
They are 15 games over 500.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out again up in the zone. And a couple of big strikeouts for Jordan Zimmerman as the Astros strand 2. By Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. And by Jeep. See your Jeep dealer today and experience the freedom that comes with legendary capability. Back here in Houston for game 2 in this 4-game series. Tigers and Astros. Victor Martinez leads it off, and McCullers misses outside 1-0. It'll be Victor, then J.D. Martinez, and Justin Upton.
And they tell us that McCullers has been throwing his changeup a lot more often this year. especially the left-handed batters. Usually the curveball is reserved for the righties, but he will use that changeup against lefties like Victor.
Awkward swing there by V-Mart.
There was a changeup, and the Tigers really haven't seen a lot of changeup from McCullers, but you saw that last pitch had outstanding fading action down and away from Victor. Look at this pitch. So now he's got him going east to west in the strike zone with the changeup and the breaking ball.
Read up on McCullers, and one of the numbers that really kind of stood out for me is the fact that he has set an American League record by allowing 3 or fewer runs in 24 consecutive home starts. So he has really gotten it done here. Here's a drive toward the gap in left center field, and it's going to be caught and run by Reddick. Hard hit ball, but right into the glove of Josh Reddick. One away.
They've got some pretty good defenders out there. Some guys that can cover some ground. Really, they have 3 center fielders in their outfield with Reddick playing left, Marisnick in center field, and you've got Springer in right field. All 3 can throw, and all 3 can cover a lot of ground. Marisnick might be the best of the 3, they say.
Yeah, he's made some really good plays already this year, Marisnick. JD looks at a ball outside, 1-0. 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. 367 on the season for Martinez.
How about that OPS?
Pretty good.
On base percentage and the slugging percentage combined is over 1,500.
1 ball, 1 strike. I know it's been a few years now, Rod, but you've got to believe. What's your opinion on this? When JD comes back here to Houston, still has, I would think, something to prove to the Astros. There's a ball inside.
No question about that. And I think that goes true with most players that have been traded from a place or released from a place and has gone on to do what JD Martinez has gone on to do. I think a part of JD loves coming in here and trying to rub it in their faces.
I know as much as players try and turn the page, and certainly Martinez a lot to be thankful for with what he's accomplished in Detroit, but he was let go by the Astros a couple of years ago.
McCullers has got that fastball all the way up to 96. McCullers is their version of Michael Fulmer. I mean, both guys have tremendous stuff. You know, Fulmer has the slider and the changeup. McCullers has the curveball.
Chopper to third, foul. Well, he comes from good bloodlines. You may know his father pitched in the big league 7 years, including with the Tigers briefly back in 1990. McCullers was a 41st round pick overall, as was his dad. Here's the 3-2. And he walked him. JD will get a base on balls. They want the appeal. Didn't go around. 1 out walk. Ethan Arts brings you the big money encounter, and now McCullers has gone 18 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings.
He's pitching his best baseball right now. And a lot of people here in Houston are really encouraged at the fact that they feel like McCullers Jr. has really turned the corner.
Here's Justin Upton, who got 1 at bat in the ball game last night, pinch hitting in the 9th inning, and he struck out.
Yeah, that wasn't fair, that at bat he had last night against their closer, Ken Giles.
Everybody talks about Peacock, and he did a really good job, but Davinsky came on, Harris came on, and then Giles finished it off.
Their bullpen has been death on right-handers this year. They've got a bunch of right-handers out there that are swing and miss artists, and you don't want to be losing the game late against these guys.
That pitch up and in, a swing and a miss by Upton.
Well, back-to-back fastballs thrown right by Jay up by McCullers Jr. The first one was 94, that one at 91.
Gonna break off a yacker here.
Yeah, he did.
He missed with it, though.
I mean, you know it's coming. That's what makes the pitch so special. You know he's going to throw you that curveball when you step into that batter's box, but many can still not hit it.
1-2 on Upton. Wouldn't chase. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tigers have gone 17 innings without scoring a run. It would be nice to see him get on the board here in the second. Mikey Matuk waiting on deck. Fouled away.
Looks like Jay Up not necessarily picking the ball up all that well from McCullers. I know McCullers has got a lot of life on his fastball, but that was an awkward swing there by Justin Upton at that 95-mile-per-hour heater.
I always wonder when you come to a dome stadium if that is an issue, whether it's here or Tampa or Toronto. There's another foul back of the screen. Back-to-back 95 on the gun. McCullers only 23 years old. He broke into the big leagues at age 21, the same as his dad. He was 21 as well when he broke in with the Padres. Missed up and in. Now the count goes full at 3-2.
I don't think J.D. Martinez is going anywhere, and McCullers strikes out too many batters to run the risk of starting J.D. Martinez. Strikes out way too many guys.
Swing and a miss. Good call. And he strikes out Upton. His first strikeout of the ball game. 2 gone. And the Tigers host the White Sox on June 3rd at 4:10 p.m. Former Tigers pitcher Jack Morris will take part in a pregame Q&A session at 2:45 p.m. the Big Cat Court. It's part of the Alumni Saturdays. If you'd like tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. I really dig those Alumni Saturdays. Really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see the guys come back, and we get a chance to spend some time with them in the broadcast booth. And they really enjoy coming back to Detroit.
We had Santiago back a couple of weeks ago. Pudge Rodriguez back. Jack Morris will be back.
I saw Carlos Pena was at the ballpark a few days ago.
He was. Here's the 1-0 to Matuk. Mikey had the Tigers' only hit last night.
And so Brad allowed him to play again tonight, and Brad said before the game that he likes the way that Mikey has been swinging the bat, and Tyler Collins has started to struggle a bit.
Mikey 4 for 8 in this ballpark. That'll get away, and that'll advance the runner. Move JD up to second.
And that might go as a pass ball.
Centeno got a lot of glove on it, it appeared.
Got lazy. And then again, that breaking ball might be just as hard to catch as it is to hit.
They've ruled it a pass ball. Matuk at 196 this year. Really hadn't gotten a whole lot of playing time. But as you mentioned, Collins struggling, so he gets the call against the right-hander here tonight. Here's the 2-1. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Gonzalez. Quick throw on a hop and is scooped at first by Gurriel. No runs, a walk, 1 left.
And it looked like those struggles were going to continue. He walked the leadoff hitter, then Reddick with a base hit. First and second, nobody out. Altuve pops up, and then a couple of strikeouts. One to Marwin Gonzalez, and also one to Carlos Beltran, and he gets out of the first without giving up a run.
So here come the Astros now in the bottom of the second, and Zim facing Gurriel, Bregman, and Centeno. Yuli Gurriel batting .268, 3 home runs. Last night 1 for 3 for the Astros. Astros last night had 9 hits, but they managed only 1 run against Fulmer.
Fulmer pitched another outstanding baseball game last night. And Fulmer threw about 108 pitches on the night, and nearly 50 of those were 95 and above. So he was on one last night. He knew he had to be good. He was good, but unfortunately their pitchers were a little bit better. And last night Tigers couldn't score a run.
Fulmer is turning into one of those guys that when you get a couple of guys on, you really don't panic at all, because you know he has the ability to bow up in the inning.
He's also becoming a must-see TV, and because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt when he is on the rubber, he's given the Tigers a legitimate chance of winning the game, and his competitive nature is really fun to watch.
That's why the Tigers right now, top 2, really good. They've got to get Zim straightened up. There's a drive deep left, way back, and that ball is gone. A home run for Yuli Gurriel. Boy, he killed that thing. His 4th of the year. And Jordan paid for falling behind.
And Gurriel gets himself a 3-1 fastball from Jordan Zimmerman, and it gets way too much plate. It's 93, but it's right around the belt buckle, and it's right down the middle, and Gurriel, he jumped all over it. Got the show hair going too, Gurriel.
Gurriel has been known for his unorthodox haircuts. We'll say it that way. Strike 1 on Bregman, who fouls it off.
This is Gurriel's 2nd year stateside after defecting from Cuba. He's 32 years old, so those of us stateside are getting a chance to see him in the twilight of his career. But many of the Cuban-born players that are stateside that are a lot younger, they will tell you that Gurriel is the best Cuban player that they've ever seen. That's how good he was in the 10-plus years that he was playing for the Cuban national team before he signed to come over here to the United States.
You don't normally see guys that age sign the deals that they have gotten. There's a bouncer to the shortstop, Iglesias. 1 gone. Now the ring of Centeno. And you wonder about signings like that, Rod, because you wonder how many years for Gurriel in terms of how many really good years you're going to get out of this kid.
And you know that the Houston Astros are sticklers for detail. So if they didn't feel really good about Gurriel, there's no way with their constraints as far as how they spend their money, they would have given him the kind of money they gave him as a free agent at age 32.
There's Juan Centeno. Tigers catching the Astros really at a pretty good time. Keuchel's on the DL, McCann's on the DL, Correa feeling sick, not playing tonight. Centeno getting the start here behind the plate. He was called up when McCann was placed on the disabled list. This guy was tearing it up at AAA, had a 16-game hitting streak at the time of the call-up.
Nowhere to play. Nowhere to go.
The 1-1. Ground ball right side. Kinsler gobbles it up. 2 gone. What do you got on these standings here?
Texas Rangers are hot, and they won again. And so Texas continues to play outstanding baseball. They have a chance to catch Houston if Houston stubs their toe. Looks like it's going to be a 2-team race, though. We've seen the Angels, although they're a game over 500, they don't seem to be in the same class as these two, Texas and Houston.
It was a couple of years ago, too, that the Rangers played well down the stretch. They got Cole Hamels, and they caught the Astros. Long season
A lot of baseball to be played.
Jake Marisnik, the batter, starting in center field tonight. Zim missing outside.
And first time through the batting order for Jordan Zimmerman, 6 of 9 in first pitch strike. So that's a good sign for Jordan, who's always been known as a strike artist.
Ground ball rate rather has been down for Zim this year, giving up a lot more fly balls, and a lot of them are leaving the park. That was his 12th home run allowed, which is tops on the team. And it gave the Astros a 1-0 advantage. Strike call. Top of the strike zone. Marisnik punched out of there. That'll be it for the Astros. They take the lead on the Gurriel homer. It is time now for the Unlimited Baseball Break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Zach Greinke in his last 6 starts, a 5-0 record, and probably know Miguel Sano has been going off this year.
Yeah, Sano's going to make an all-star team this year. It's also good to see Zach Greinke pitching the way that he pitched a couple of years ago when he was pitching for the Dodgers.
That Atlanta bullpen, 54 batters without allowing a hit.
Is that good?
That's kind of unbelievable.
54 batters without allowing a hit?
It doesn't seem possible.
It really doesn't.
I mean, that's 2 no-hitters, right? Pretty good.
I think Atlanta's going to turn the corner a lot faster than a lot of people thought they would. Right now, they're in 2nd place in the National League East.
McCann, Iglesias, and Kinsler facing Lance McCullers Jr. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count.
Here's where McCullers has been death on right-handed batters this season. Once he gets ahead with 2 strikes, he just simply either goes upstairs for the mid-90s fastball, which he's done quite a bit today already, or they bury the breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. They're going fastball away, 4-seam fastball.
McCann behind the dish in this one tonight. Avila caught last night. And James 6 hits on the last homestand. Got 7 homers this year, but the average has been low. It's at 200 coming in. In the air to right field. Springer under that one for 1 away. Hey, let's go out to center field right now. Check in with Johnny Kane.
All right, boys, we made our way out here to Torchy's. I know yesterday we were hanging out at the Budweiser Batter's Eye Bar, which is right over here, but now Torchy's, they've got a party deck out here, and everybody says these are the best tacos you can get in Houston. Used to be a food truck, but now they've infiltrated Houston. So we've got here, I don't know if you can see it from that far away, but this one's called the Trailer Park. Fried chicken on a tortilla, green chilies, pico de gallo, and you can get it extra trashy. And to do that, you've got to forego the lettuce and add queso. So I'm going to give this a whirl here at some point during this inning. I'll check back with you.
Johnny, you are anything but trashy. Let us know how that goes. Oh, there he goes.
A trashy taco.
See, that's brutal because I missed dinner tonight, Johnny.
Yeah, bring a couple of them back with you, Johnny.
No, I did too. I purposely didn't pay. Part of it because I was too cheap to buy the media meal. And I went out to the manager here. Her name's Rhonda Morrison. I said, help me, Rhonda.
Oh,
because I
terrible.
did forget. No, I did. I actually did. No pun intended. Because I forgot to bring my wallet out here. So I literally was like, hey, could we borrow one of these tacos?
So now you're begging for food, basically.
No, I know. It's honestly, I'm like so shameful.
We can't take you nowhere, Johnny Kane.
But these are really good. Somebody said they might be overpriced. These aren't overpriced at all.
Well, they're free. Of course they're not overpriced. You didn't pay for them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is great, though. Torchy's is where it's at, guys.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
They're
overpriced.
Overpriced.
They're free. Johnny's having a good time out there at Torchy's.
Why wouldn't he?
Iglesias, the batter.
He's killing that taco, too.
Yeah, he is. Iggy back in the lineup tonight after missing the last two games. Was arrested by Brad Ausmus, trying to get him back going offensively. Iglesias 4 for 22 in the last homestand, but that has not affected his defense at all. He's been spectacular in that mode. And he's battling McCullers here.
Well, you know McCullers is not going to go much above 100. You look at his game log. He threw 100 pitches one time, and he's gone over 100 pitches one other time. So 2 starts of 100 or more pitches this year for McCullers. So they're going to watch him closely.
Meanwhile, Iglesias continues to drive up his pitch count. $50 now for Lance McCullers Jr. And another foul by Iglesias. I think Iggy had a long at bat on that last homestand. I think it was like an 11 pitch at bat before he finally struck out late in a ball game.
A lot of times when you have these lengthy at bats, you see a lot of pitches. The end result's a good one for the hitter. You've basically seen everything that Lance McCullers Jr. is featuring this evening. Now Centennial's tired. He's going to go out and say, you tell me what you want to throw.
Super secret meeting now between Centennial and McCullers. Tigers trail 1-0. The Gurriel home run in the bottom of the second, the difference. Kinsler waiting on deck. Another ground ball foul. You want to go up top here against Iglesias. Everything has been down and in. Skine in the air to center field straightaway. Marisnik under it, and they finally retire Iglesias. 2 gone. Time for a game break now, and John Keating. All right, Keats, thanks. Well, the old bugaboo for Sanchez has bit him in the minor leagues as well, and that's the home run ball.
Right.
Strike one to Kinsler. We talked about it last night, Rod. You've got to admire Sanchez with his resume going down to the minor leagues, but he's still going to have to perform down there to get back up.
Well, I think he believes this is his best chance of getting back to the big leagues and having success as a starter. And you go down there, you regroup, and if you pitch well enough, either the Tigers will bring you back or some other team. will give you an opportunity, but he wasn't doing anything in the bullpen, and Brad was having a difficult time of finding ways to use Andy Ball up here.
Chopper back to the mound, and McCullers, a nice play. And the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the third. Johnny Kane's still leaving Torchies out there in center field. They're free. Why not? Johnny digging in.
All in.
The third. Now if we could just get Johnny Kane one of those taco hats, he'd be all set. He'd go nicely with the suit he's wearing tonight. Here's the top of the lineup now. George Springer leads it off for the Astros. Springer, Reddick, and Altuve. In the bottom of the third, Zimmerman back out there. And he'll drop in a strike, 0-1. Bender there to Springer, who walked but did not score in the first. When Springer scores, it's usually good news for the Astros. They're 18-3 when he gets on base and comes around to score, including last night. Here's the 1-1. High fly ball right field, fairly deep, chasing Martinez back to the warning track. One gone. Four straight retired after the home run. Bring up Reddick. Even 40 now for Zimmerman. Reddick had a single in the first inning. Talking about how Jordan struggles in the first, his ERA well over 7, and it looked like he might again, a walk and a single, but he got a couple of punch outs and a fly out. Ending the threat.
A nice little breaking ball there thrown by Zimmerman at 81 miles an hour to get the strike on Josh Reddick. What you have to do against the Astros, you have to throw some breaking balls in fastball counts to keep them off balance. Well, this is the count that you have to stay out of, however, especially if you're going to throw a fastball in this particular count.
He fell behind Gurriel 3-0, and then eventually gave up a home run in that at bat. Tigers shifting on Reddick to the right side, and now the third baseman Castellanos is going to run over with 2 strikes in the count. The reason they do that is with 2 strikes he won't be bunting here. Here's the 2-2, and it's fouled away.
And Jordan Zimmerman has thrown quite a few fastballs, forcing variety upstairs to these Astros hitters for the first couple of frames. And it's been a pretty successful pitch for him so far. A couple of strikeouts and a couple of pop-ups on that fastball up in the zone.
Outside. I don't know if these numbers mean anything. We showed them to you at the top of the broadcast, but his ERA is career 2.93 against Houston because, you know, players change every year. There are slight variations to teams. It's been a while since he has seen Houston. And he walked him.
I think that's a great point that you bring up.
You know, 2-2 with a 2.93, a whip of under 1.
And the reason I say that is this is the year that Jordan Zimmerman really hasn't found a whole lot of positives. Right? So if you have the 2-2 record with a career ERA of 2.93 against the opponent you're going up against, you're naturally going to feel better about yourself regardless of how you've been pitching in the past because you've had success against the Astros.
Here's Altuve, who flied to center field in his only at bat.
It's a nice job here by Jordan, making sure that Reddick does not entertain the thought of trying to steal a base. We told you in the first inning, if you weren't with us, that the fact that Altuve does hit into a lot of double plays.
Fouled away.
Altuve right in the middle of an 8-game hitting streak, and man, this guy can just hit. He can rake.
Not only that, but he's been on base in 16 consecutive games with a plate appearance. 24 home runs for the little guy last year.
How many?
24.
Ooh.
He signed as a 16-year-old out of Venezuela, and you know we say that oftentimes about the kids that are signed from Latin American countries. But think about that: 16 years old and playing professional baseball. And you know that Altuve had to fight his height every stop of the minor league.
His entire life.
His entire life, right. Fouled away. So Zim at 50 now, had that 22 pitch first. One and two on Altuve. Fouled away.
That's one of the things that makes Altuve such a difficult out is he's a really good bad ball hitter. I mean, he can go from the bill of his cap all the way down to his shoe tops and somehow still hit the ball hard. It's a rare skill that he has.
It's that hand-eye coordination that you talk about with him.
Bat-to-ball skills are better than most.
Runner goes, and it is a check swing, did not go. Down to second base goes Reddick. Stolen base for Reddick, his second.
He almost went at that, to be honest with you. His bat was way out in front of home plate.
Tigers did not get the call on that one. 2-2 on Altuve. Hey, by the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live following the game, where we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player in the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Carlos Beltran waiting on deck. Astros lead 1-0. We're in the third. See, everything has pretty much been away with the exception of a couple of pitches here to Altuve. And he's been able to spoil a couple of tough pitches.
Surprised he hasn't gone upstairs yet.
Oh, where was that? Man, he just missed down low, and Zim wanted it badly. 3-2. May have been a touch low.
Right. Nice job by McCann, though, pulling the ball up ever so slightly, trying to get the call from the home plate umpire, Carlos Torres.
Ground ball to third, under the glove of Castellanos. Here comes Reddick rounding third. He will score. Altuve will go to second, and it's 2-0 Houston. Third RBI for Altuve.
That ball right underneath the glove of Castellanos.
They're going to call it an error. E5 on the play. Reddick scores from second. Altuve goes all the way to second. It's the 8th error of the year now for Nicholas Castellanos. Beltran looks at a ball outside.
And you have to pay some attention to Altuve at second base. And he is one that will try to swipe third, regardless of whether there's a left-handed batter up or not.
Zimmerman struck out Beltran in the first inning.
And if you're Jose Altuve, you don't have to worry about Ian Kinsler because he's way on the other side of the diamond. He does not come into play, but you have to watch Iglesias. But as far as Iglesias is behind you, if you're Altuve, that's how far you can get off toward third base.
Ooh, he was chugging toward third base and then stopped.
Oh, he's on his way.
Zim might have had a play there had he stepped off, because Altuve slipped. Missed outside.
In case you're wondering, Altuve has 34 career steals of third base. And you can see a couple of pitches ago, he was on the move.
He's got the little choppy steps.
Doesn't he, though?
Huh. Meanwhile, 2-0. Dangerous count here to Beltran. He had a rip and fouled it back. "40 years of age, Carlos Beltran. Last time the Astros had someone that old in their on their roster was Doug Rocaille, who was 42. On their pitching staff, former Tiger.
We just saw him, didn't we?
He did. Pitching coach, Texas.
Yeah.
And now time called, and McCann goes out. Doug Rocaille was 42 in 2009, but he was part of the rotation here at Houston. Brad Ausmus, the former Astro, 10 years in Houston. He won 3 Gold Gloves with the Astros.
Made some all-star teams, too.
Popped up. Third base side, Castellanos. And Beltran is out. 2 away as Altuve holds it second. Here's Marwin Gonzalez. and a strikeout victim with 2 men on in the first inning. Two runs on 2 hits in the ball game for Houston Tigers. No runs, no hits. Way outside, 1-0. Jim is 8 of 14 on first pitch strikes. Here's the 1-0. And again, he's behind in the count now like he was on Beltran. He's gone 2-0 on Gonzalez. Jordan had a 22-pitch first inning. He's about to throw his 25th here in the third. Not before McCann makes another visit out to the mound. There's a couple of heavyweights. Nolan Ryan front row. There's Jeff Bagwell seated behind him.
I saw Nolan Ryan last night after the game was over, and as you could imagine, he really enjoyed last night's game. He loves pitching matchups.
I imagine he enjoyed the results and the pitching duel. Wonder what his thoughts were of Michael Fulmer.
Had to like him.
Nolan Ryan, an executive advisor with the Astros. Gonzalez rolls it foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A run in on a walk, a steal, and a fielding error by Castellanos at third. Should Gonzalez reach, Gurriel waiting on deck. That'll get away from McCann. Altuve will go to third base. Wild pitch.
And not a whole lot that McCann could do on that breaking ball. And once it hits the dirt, it just kind of darts back to the left off the left hip and could not prevent Altuve from advancing 90 feet.
So it's 3-2 now on Gonzalez. Sim will throw from the windup here. And it's whistled foul, back out of play.
This much I do know. They are making Zimmerman work awfully hard. Already 65 pitches. And he's not out of the third yet. But we had a feeling the Tigers would need their bullpen tonight. And the Tigers' bullpen has been stellar in the month of May. Only one other team in the American League has been better, and that would be the Cleveland Indians.
Tigers apparently will be leaning on them tonight. Here's the 3-2. He sends a fly ball in the air to center. Mikey Matuk calling and catching, and that'll end the inning. The Astros get another run, and they take a 2-0 lead after 3.
You know, it used to be for a lot of years there with the Astrodome, we didn't have, natural grass out here, and certainly you didn't have open-air stadium. Well, as it turns out, they basically base it kind of on a heat index here of when they'll close the roof. And usually through the month of April, you'll see a lot more games here in Houston where they do have the lid off the can, if you will. But today, at about 2:15, they decided to close it because we had those storms moving in. But really, it's pretty neat. So basically, about 88 degrees or higher, they decide to close it up. So it's always a comfortable playing conditions here inside, certainly with the heat that you get in Houston. But yeah, going back to 2000, that it completely retracts, which is not the case for a lot of retractable roofs. But this thing here, like 249 feet high is the roof. And so basically when it opens, you've got 50,000 feet of glass, which paints basically the far wall from the right field line into center field, or excuse me, left field line into center field. Got my bearings mixed up here. But anyway, we've got the roof closed today. They are hopeful that tomorrow they will be able to play in the open air. But here's a little look. We got this captured with a cell phone actually earlier today of the time lapse. And it takes anywhere between 12 and 20 minutes. They say usually about 15 minutes to get the roof closed. So this is what it looked like earlier today. You heard Rod saying he got some pool time in. I went for a run today, and I thought, man, this would be neat to watch the game in the open air. But they did get it closed here because of those storms moving in. But maybe tomorrow, guys, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for. It's certainly a different feel. I don't care if it's here or Toronto or anywhere else. Once you have the roof open, it's just a different feel to the ballgame.
Yeah, special place. We were fortunate when we were in Arizona that we caught a break in the weather, and we had a couple of games out there at Chase Field with the roof open.
Castellanos goes down on strikes. McCullers has his second strikeout, one gone.
McCullers gets more strikeouts on this particular pitch than any other right-hander in baseball. It's his curveball. It's an outstanding pitch. He throws it at about 85 to 88 miles an hour, so it's a harder breaking ball.
Here is Miguel Cabrera, who bounced out 4-3 in his first at-bat. Ball one to Miggy.
Yeah, Miggy just really hasn't gotten it going yet this year, batting about 260. And Miggy usually well over 300. He'll be there before it's all said and done. Had a couple different stints where he's had to slow down, one with the groin injury, the other with the oblique injury.
1-1 on Cabrera. Numbers don't lie, do they? You look at the back of the bubblegum card and they say that this guy is going to be good for at least 100 RBIs. 30-some home runs. Chopped to third. That's a foul ball. 1-2 on Miguel.
"14 games against the Houston Astros since 2015. 373 with 4 homers and 11 RBI. A lot of damage done by Miguel against Houston Astros pitching.
Two and two the count. Tigers facing a guy tonight in McCullers who was lights out in the month of May. He's kept him off the board so far. McCullers came in with an 0.71 ERA in 4 starts this month.
That curveball is just wicked. And Miggy just able to get a piece of that last one.
Ground ball again, foul. You and I were talking last night about an observation you made about how they've got certain guys that have that one signature pitch, and for McCullers, it is that curveball.
Right. And it's one of the best curveballs in the game for a right-hander, if not the best curveball in the game. Is he going to go change up here?
Ground ball deep in the hole. Gonzalez will plant. He'll throw and safe at first base.
Great at bat by Miguel Cabrera. We're going to make that our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. I mean, McCullers threw Miggy everything but the kitchen sink. Fastballs and changeups down, Fastballs inside, two-seam variety. Breaking balls down that Miggy was able to lay off. And when he wasn't laying off of him, he was getting just a piece of them. Then he finally came back with a changeup, hitting the hole by Miguel Cabrera Gonzalez. Tried to bounce it over to Gurriel, but not before Miguel Cabrera crossing that bag with an infield single. It's not often you say Miggy gets an infield single.
It'll be the first hit for the Tigers in this game. Here's Victor Martinez. They are shifting to the right side on Victor, who hit the ball hard his first time up. He shot a line drive to the gap in left field, but Reddick ran it down.
And it looks like McCullers likes to try to drop that breaking ball in against the left-handers in the same fashion that Brad Peacock did last night, who started for the Houston Astros and was sensational in a spot start. Whew. That's nasty right there.
Lucioni said he held up. Peacock last night struck out the side in the first inning, and that was kind of a harbinger of things to come. Tigers got nothing going all night. Rolled foul, 1-2 on Victor.
McCullers Jr. leads Major League Baseball with 68% curveball usage with 2 strikes.
Swing and a miss.
There it was.
Third strikeout of the game for McCullers, who in his career averages about 10 per 9.
Here's the grip. You can see the index finger and the fingernails in the seams of the baseball. It's a knuckle curve that he throws, and that's how he's able to get so much bite on that pitch.
It's not really much of a 12-6, is it? It's more of an east and west type breaking ball.
With a big break to it, and it's a hard breaking ball.
Ball 1 to JD.
About time for JD to run into one.
Meanwhile, McCullers up to 75 pitches, so he's not been extremely economical, still in decent shape. Missed inside there. Martinez played here in Houston 2011 through 2013. Had 11 home runs, the most he'd ever hit in a season here with Houston. That was back in 2012. That'll back him out of there again.
And 3 straight breaking balls to JD Martinez thrown by McCullers. And 6 homers since JD Martinez has come back off the disabled list. He has the green light.
Gurriel is playing behind the runner, Cabrera at first base. There's Upton waiting on deck. Rolled foul now, 3-2. Well, we kind of chatted about this last night, Rod. Keuchel McCullers awfully good 1-2, but as the deadline approaches, I'm sure they'll be searching.
Yeah, there's some names out there that have been floated around as well that the Astros have kicked the tires on. Garrett Cole, Jose Quintana.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. 4 strikeouts now for McCullers. Tigers get their first hit of the game, but strand a man. We go to the bottom of the fourth here in Houston. Time now for the Mini Countryman player profile, and we'll look at Yuli Gurriel, who started playing for the Cuban national team at 17 years of age.
He played in 2 Olympics, also 3 World Baseball Classics. That's where the Astros probably scouted him first.
And he's drilled by Zinn. Gurriel homered in the second, and he drills him here in the fourth.
Nowhere for Gurriel to go.
Except first base. So the leadoff man is on. That'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman hit a 6-3 ground ball in his first at bat. There's another 6-3. Except you're going to throw a 4 in the middle of it. That's a double play. That didn't take long. 2 gone.
Zimmerman has not been getting a whole lot of ground balls this year. Most of his outs have been up in the air, but that one's right to Iglesias, and he and Ian Kinsler are able to turn it over.
Here's Juan Centeno. Centeno is 0 for 1, a ground out his first time up. Played with Minnesota last year, batted .261. Also has had big league time with Milwaukee and the Mets. Skies this one in the air to left center field. Way back, track, well, he looks up, and that ball is gone. A home run.
Really? Centeno? Did you?
How in the world did that ball carry out?
He hit that ball to one of the deepest parts of this ballpark over the 404 sign against the traffic the opposite way. And it landed up top where those people are standing. He killed this fastball.
Matuk, all he could do is look up.
That cat caught it too.
3-0 Houston, their second home run of the night. That's 13 homers allowed this year now for Zimmerman.
And that ball traveled 406 feet off the bat of Centeno.
Here is Marisnik with a tap in front of the plate. And Zim can't handle it. And the runner is safe.
Jordan Zimmerman had a chance to get Marisnik, who has good speed, but as soon as he got to the ball, he took one look at the base runner, and therefore he could not make the play. Now watch him look up. Right there. He looks up at the base runner, and therefore he has no play.
Infield hit for Marisnik. That'll bring up Springer.
And Marisnik will run. He has 3 steals. He's been caught once. He has really good speed.
Three runs on 4 hits for the Astros. No runs on 1 hit for the Tigers tonight.
We might see a pitch out here. I know Brad understands the fact that they believe they can run on Jordan Zimmerman, so he might just take the liberty here of helping out McCann by calling a pitch out on one of the first 2 pitches to see if they can catch Marisnik taking off.
Springer, fly ball and a walk. 9 home runs this year for Springer. And Rusnick getting a little walking lead there, and Zimmerman stepped off.
He's running. I think he feels like he's got a pretty good gauge on when Zimmerman's going to come to first and when he's going to go home. He's got a huge lead.
Fly ball in the air to center. Matuk is over there. And that'll end the inning, but they get another run on the home run by Centeno. We go to the top of the 5th inning here at Minute Maid Park in Houston. Tigers trying to get the bats going against Lance McCullers, who has struck out 4 in this game, including Upton, who fanned back in the 2nd.
That's a straight changeup there from McCullers at 90 miles an hour. We were told that in his last 3 outings, he's been throwing that changeup a lot more. And he's not afraid to throw that pitch to the right-handed hitters. Back-to-back changeups there to J-Up.
Upton, Matuk, and McCann here in the Tigers' 5th.
It's one of the things that we talk about regarding starting pitchers in the major leagues. If you have one really good pitch, you can compete in the big leagues. If you've got 2 really good pitches, you can win up here. But when you have 3, you can dominate a game like McCullers and like Fulmer and like Verlander can do, because you have 3 above average major league pitches. Those are the guys that dominate.
Seems like really the only time you can get hit on that curveball is if he misses.
Really? And he ain't missing with many of them.
On the outer edge, a strike. And now 1-2. Busted him inside that time, way inside.
Well, here comes that curveball now, and it's just a matter of whether Justin can lay off with it or not. You know sooner or later you're going to get it. And here it comes.
Swing and a miss. He couldn't get it. 5 strikeouts now. Time for a game break. Here's John Keating. I remember him. Suarez, pretty good player. He really kind of took off when he went to Cincy.
Suarez might make an all-star team this year. That's how well he's playing right now for the Cincinnati Redlegs.
Here's Mikey Matuk. Mikey, a 6-3 ground out. The only Tigers hit here tonight, the infield hit by Cabrera. That was in the 4th.
How about the Minnesota Twins? They have won their game again tonight. 2-0 over the Baltimore Orioles, so they will stay in first place.
Stop it with the Twins. Really?
They rolled it, man. Somebody threw a shutout tonight in Baltimore. In Baltimore.
24-18 now.
Had to be Irvin Santana. It sure was. He's pitching better than anybody in baseball right now, Irvin Santana.
He is 7-2. He'll chop it to third. Easy hop there for Bregman. Matuk is out, 2 gone. It'll bring up McCann.
And meanwhile, McCullers is making it look as easy as the quartet of relievers, basically, that the Astros threw at the Tigers in last night's game. Although this might be his last inning because he does not go much above 100 pitches. He's had some shoulder injuries in the past, and they watch him very closely.
McCann flat out in his only at bat. That was back in the 2nd. Astros lead 3-0. Tigers now have gone, let's see, 20+ innings without scoring, which is just astounding.
And Dave Clark in that third base box. Awful lonely down there these days. Third base coach.
Outside. 3-0 on McCann.
And Tigers have also struck out 19 times so far in the first 2 games of the series. And we're not even halfway through this one yet.
14 punch outs in last night's game. Of course, that was shared by the starter Peacock and then the bullpen guys Davinsky, Harris, Giles. Up high, walked him on 4 straight. 2-out walk for McCann. Fans see the Tigers battle the White Sox. That's coming up on Saturday, June 3rd at 4:10 p.m. It's, by the way, play ball weekend. Be sure to arrive early because the first 2,500 kids 14 and under receive a play ball bat and ball set courtesy of MLB. 866-66-TIGER. He bends one in for a strike.
Yeah, front door breaking ball there. Started it right at Jose. Jose gave up on it and it caught the inside corner.
Iglesias gave him a serious battle in the 3rd before finally flying out. He's going to send a little looper back a second, and it's going to be a run down by Altuve. No runs, a walk. 1 man left. Go to the bottom of the 5th. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tires.
American Bank game summary for the second consecutive day from an offensive standpoint. It's been all Houston Astros. Gurriel with a solo home run. That came in the second. And Josh Reddick, he scores. That would be in the third inning on a Castellanos air. And that was after he had walked and stolen a base. And then you have another home run by their catcher, Centeno, the opposite way, 420 feet from home plate.
Zim back out there, down 3-0. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 batters. Reddick, Altuve, Beltran here in the bottom of the 5th. He'll dive low and in. 1 ball and 1 strike to Josh Reddick. Been on base 2 more times tonight. Single walk, a steal, and a run scored this evening.
He kind of balances out their lineup. Last year they hit a lot of home runs, but they also struck out quite a bit.
There you see fly ball to center field from Mikey Matuk. 1 gone.
And with a young and by and large offense, but you added some veterans like Reddick and Beltran and Brian McCann. All of a sudden their quality at bats have gone up.
Bring up Altuve. Altuve reaching on an error, and that allowed a run to score back in the 3rd. 0 for 2 tonight for Altuve. Ball 1 to Jose. Astros came into this game tonight with a run differential of plus 56 so far in the year, and only the Yankees had a better run differential of plus 58.
A.J. Hinch, and he's the perfect leader for the Houston Astros. Players really enjoy playing for him. His communication skills are very, very good, is what they say about A.J. This is his 2nd managerial stop. He once managed the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that didn't go very well. But this 2nd tour of duty, as far as the manager is concerned, has gone very well in Houston.
Do you think his youth has something to do with that? He's the 3rd youngest manager in the big leagues as far as communication thing.
Yeah, and that talent that he had in Arizona wasn't the most talented group. I think his skill set, that would be A.J. Hinch, works a whole lot better with this group. And they're heavy in the analytics. He's a very bright guy. He went to Stanford University. And he's always had great communication skills. He's a good catcher as well. A lot of catchers turn into be good managers. Brad also caught a number of years in the big leagues.
Oh, look out. Man, that thing got quickly back in the seats.
See, that's why they have the net that goes all the way across the dugout here. A lot of ballparks don't have it yet, but they have it on both sides, because we've watched a lot of people on balls hit right over that dugout. You just don't have time to move. So I like what they have done here. I mean, you can sit in that front row behind the dugout and you can kind of enjoy your hot dog without getting smoked by a line drive.
And your beverage.
Yeah.
You won't be spilling that. 2 gone. Altuve retired. Yeah, the Tigers Lighting Friday's party pack is available for all Friday home games. Package includes a game ticket, voucher for a 20-ounce beer, and starting as low as $19 while supplies last. For tickets, simply go to tigers.com. Here's Carlos Beltran. Strikeout pop-up for Beltran. Little chopper back to the mound. And Zim gonna have himself an easy 1-2-3 5th. 5 in the books in Houston. 3-0 Astros. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. We're at Minute Maid Park here in Houston, game 2 in the series. Yeah, got to get the bats going. I like the outfit. Tigers here in the 6th inning will get into the bullpen of the Astros, but here's another guy that has a lot of strikeouts and a wall-side windows pitching change, Michael Phillies.
Yeah, he's averaging nearly 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's another flamethrower out of the Houston bullpen. He's got a fastball that's average 96, which means he can get up to 98, 99. He also throws quite a bit of sliders and a changeup he does not use very often.
Strike one to Kinsler.
That was an easy 95 out of the hand of Feliz.
Top of the Tigers lineup here, Kinsler, Castellanos, Cabrera. Chopper to third, foul. So McCullers goes 5 for the Astros.
Tigers did a nice job of getting him out of the game by laying off a few of those breaking balls early. In the first 3 frames, he started to have his way with that breaking ball in the last couple of innings, McCullers, but his pitch count up to 100.
Fly ball right field. It'll be routine for Springer. 1 out. Now Castellanos. Well, only 1 Tigers hit last night, 1 so far tonight. Infield hit for Cabrera, and that's been it. Nicholas with a strikeout and a double play ball. Infield playing to pull against the hard-throwing right-hander Feliz. Slider missed 1-0. Feliz last year struck out 95 in 65 innings. How about that? He was 8-1 out of the bullpen for the Astros.
The Astros have a great bullpen. They got a lot of flamethrowers down there. And Feliz is straight over the top with that 96-mile-per-hour gas.
He is only 23 years of age. Native of the Dominican Republic. Nick had a rip right through the fastball. Miggy on deck. Two and 2. Tigers been trying to get Castellanos going, Rod, and it seems like he's been out there taking extra batting practice, certainly putting the work in, but he's just been through one of those stretches now.
Yeah, the first 3 weeks of the season, Castellanos was having a lot of success. He was hitting the ball extremely hard, but not a whole lot to show for it. And then he started to leave the strike zone a little bit. And Brad put him down that number 5 spot, that number 6 spot, tried to get him to relax a little bit, but he's still struggling.
And there's 97, and he fired it right by him.
Let's take a look at Lance McCullers Jr.'s overall night. And Tigers, we pointed it out at the beginning of the contest that they would see a lot of curveballs from McCullers Jr., and he got a steady diet of them, did Tigers batters. 88 miles an hour with the curveball. He threw some changeups and the fastball in the mid-90s. So you had a chance to see why he is so good and considered one of the best right-handers in the game. It's another outing here at Minute Maid Park where he has not given up a run. He's been dominant here at home.
Well, now Feliz in an interesting matchup here will take on Cabrera.
What is it, 23 now consecutive innings that McCullers has not given up a run?
Yeah, he came in at 17.
That'd be 22.
22. That's dealing, man.
You're going to give a run by accident sometimes.
Exactly. One ball, one strike on Cabrera. Power against power here.
Yeah, Mickey won't try to pull this heater, though. He'll try to hit it in the right center field.
One and two. I don't know. I understand the Tigers retired last night, and these guys have a good bullpen. But it just seems like the Tigers are just not picking up the pitch. We've seen some awkward swings here.
They haven't had the best of at-bats here tonight.
Did he go? Negative.
I mean, you have to give the Astros some credit. I mean, they have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, but the Tigers also boast a lot of really good hitters. And this is what they've done this year. Their ranks, their pitching staff. I mean, they're the best in the American League, so you know runs are going to be at a premium when you come here, but the Tigers have had some poor at-bats in the series. Wow.
That one just missed inside. Three and two on Cabrera. Swing and a miss to strike him out. Slider got him. 7 strikeouts for Astros pitching tonight.
Head back out for the bottom of this 6th inning. You know, I had a chance to talk with Jordan before this start, and he said one of the things he's got to do is locate his fastball primarily, and then beyond that, he wanted to find a feel for his slider. Said he felt like he worked on it all week, had good success with it playing catch and also in his bullpen, and of course the curveball is what gave him some, or he had some success with in his last start. But he said the big thing is he's got to keep the ball low, he's got to keep the ball on the ground. That's something he struggled with throughout the course of this season, but with this ballpark, as we've seen tonight, he got touched up a couple of times, Mario.
Yeah, a couple of home runs in this game given up by Zim. He shattered the bat there of Marwin Gonzalez for the first out. Home runs to Gurriel and Centeno in this game. And the Astros have a 3-0 lead. Here is Gurriel, who homered and then was hit by a pitch in the 4th. Gurriel's home run was his 4th of the season for the Astros. Soft line drive to left field. Jay up, coming on, and makes a sliding play. He was playing so deep out there near the warning track, he had to come in and make a nice sliding play out in left.
Justin's played a really nice left field this year for the Tigers. And he has come in and made this type of play on several occasions, coming in, taking balls that you think are going to be singles when they leave the hitter's back, but they fall harmlessly into J-Up's glove.
How about that one? Was a base hit all the way. 2 gone. Here is Alex Bregman.
And they must have told him to play deeper in this particular ballpark. And because he's playing a lot deeper now than he plays in most yards. And we noticed Mikey Montook in last night's game as well was playing very deep in left field.
Bregman knocked into a double play in his last at bat. Ground ball to third, deep behind the bag. There's Nick. And that's an easy 1, 2, 3, 6th inning for Zimmerman as we go to the 7th. Tigers get some nice defense from Jay up and left. Trailing this one 3-0. The upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Charlie Morton tomorrow and Daniel Norris for the Tigers.
And Morton got good stuff as well. His ERA is a little elevated, 4.26, 59 strikeouts. He's walked 20. And Daniel Norris will show you flashes of brilliance, but he does struggle with just 1 inning in most of his starts. And once he starts to figure that out and turn the corner, I think Daniel's going to be one of those guys that gives you 6 and 7 innings every time he goes out.
Well, here is Martinez now in the 7th. Victor, then JD, and then Justin Upton.
And Victor might have hit the hardest ball of the night, and that landed in the glove of their left fielder, Josh Reddick.
It was in the 2nd inning. He struck out against McCullers in the 4th. McCullers lasting 5 innings tonight. Phillies came on and had a 1, 2, 3, 6th. And there's ball 3 down low. Tigers right now will take base runners any way you can get them. Down the middle it comes.
Last 3 or 4 years, the Tigers really have had no problem with guys that throw hard, guys that have mid-90s fastballs. It's the guys that throw slower, and guys that throw breaking balls in fastball counts that present problems for the Tigers hitters.
And he walked him. Leadoff man on here in the 7th. Time for a game break now, and John Keating. There's no doubt about that, Keats. The Twins, everybody's talking about how Santana might be available at the deadline. Well, not if they keep winning. There's a swing and a miss by JD.
Do you think they'd be fooled by what they're doing right now?
I don't know. But what if you get to the deadline and they're in first place?
It'll be tough, but they really have to look at this thing realistically, and they might have to cash in on Irvin, especially if they get a lot of really good prospects in return. And teams tend to overpay at the trade deadline for good starting pitching.
I would agree with that 100%. And I think if you take the long-term view, they've got to believe they don't have enough right now to win a championship.
He is 7-2 with a 1.80 ERA. The whip is well under 1. And look at what the opponent's average is this year against Irvin. They're hitting a bucket some change. And that's about 10 starts in.
JD looks at a strike, and now 1-2. Martinez had a walk in the second, struck out in the fourth.
Feliz is just, here it is, hit it.
Pretty much.
He is straight over the top. He is throwing straight downhill. He's gotten up to 97 miles an hour. His slider is 90 miles an hour. Where do the Astros find all these guys?
High fly ball to center field. It's going to be playable there for Marisnik. One gone. Tigers fans, head to tigers.com/vote to send your favorite Tiger to the 2017 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, July 11th in Miami. Vote today, vote tomorrow. Vote at tigers.com/vote.
And Tigers, some of the players are going to have to pick it up a notch if they're going to be well represented in Miami in July.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, aside from Michael Fulmer right now, who has had a fabulous year, really offensively, there's not that one guy that has been consistent from the get-go.
Not this year.
J-Up looked like he might be that guy. He had a nice month of April. He had, in fact, was the Tigers' offensive player of the month in April.
Still has a chance to pick it up again. And Michael Fulmer, he should have made the All-Star team last year.
Well, he'll be there this year, assuming he continues his pace. Here's the 1-0. Upton had a swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Only 4 hits tonight for the Astros. They've cashed in. They lead 3-0. That'll miss inside. Gibby and I had a discussion about this the other night. We've done it several times over the air about whether or not the All-Star game should tell you who has home field advantage for the World Series. And Gibby's of the opinion that he liked that because it gave the game some meaning. Of course, that has been taken away this year. Upton swings and misses. Some interest in your opinion.
I'm sure that a lot of guys share that same opinion that Kurt does, but I'm not one of those. I didn't think it had a whole lot of value to the game. The team that happens to win the All-Star game has home field advantage. I mean, there's been in the last number of years where the best team with the overall record in baseball didn't have home field advantage in the World Series simply because of the All-Star game.
Into shallow right field, and Springer makes the running play.
So I thought that Bud Selig, when he implemented that rule after the tie back in 2002, I believe it was, they had to do something different, and that's what they chose. How do you feel about it?
I think I'm with you on this one. Gibby and I have talked about it, and he knows we disagree on this, but I just kind of felt that, you know, in an All-Star game every year, there are so many injuries, so many guys that decide because they're not 100% healthy, they're not going to play. They turn down the opportunity to play, and that just doesn't sit well with me. Therefore, that's why I disagree with that.
That's a great point you make. I mean, there are several guys that get voted in and simply say, well, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Now with 2 outs, Mata cuts and misses 0-1.
Looks like to me now that some of the Tigers hitters, because they have struggled mightily in the last couple of games, which started in that Sunday night game against the Texas Rangers, we're starting to see guys leave the strike zone. Guys are trying to do too much now. Instead of just having a really good quality plate appearance, if you walk and just pass the line, keep the line moving. Right now, each guy is trying to hit a 3-run home run with nobody on base.
Well, I thought the Tigers early in this game were doing a pretty good job of grinding out some at-bats and raising the pitch count for McCullers. That at-bat by Iglesias in particular, where he battled and battled and battled. But you're right, you're seeing now the Tigers leave the strike zone as this continues this scoreless streak.
Now, granted, the guy on the mound does have a high-octane fastball, which is 97 miles an hour.
Grounded foul to third base. 0-2 on Matuk. Mikey, 2 ground balls, 1 to short, 1 to third. Driven down the left field line. That ball is hit well, and Mikey has hit it out. It's a 2-run shot for Matuk. And the Tigers, with a jolt here in the 7th, are back in this game. Two-out, 2-run shot for Mikey Matuk.
And Brad Osmus, he put Mikey Matuk in the starting lineup today because he had been swinging the bat very well. And Mikey rewards him with a 2-run homer.
Well, that'll give the Tigers a jolt of energy. 2nd home run of the year from Matuk. And it snaps a 22-inning scoreless streak for the Tigers. Wall-side windows pitching change here in Houston. Ball game. The 2-run shot by Mikey Matuk has suddenly tightened this one up considerably. And James McCann will step in now against Luke Gregerson, who has come in out of the bullpen. He throws strike 1.
And Gregerson will throw you a lot of sliders. That's his signature pitch. He has 19 strikeouts this year in 19 games. The majority of the strikeouts he has have come on his slider. And you can see his earned run average is way up from a season ago. He was closing games last year early for the Houston Astros.
One of the most unlikely of sources, Mikey Matuk. As you mentioned, Brad gave him the start tonight because Collins had been struggling. So He went with the right-handed batting outfielder as opposed to the lefty Collins, and it paid off.
And I believe you said this yesterday as well, that Mikey Montuk has good numbers in this ballpark.
Well, he's now 5 for 11 in this yard. Here's a soft little looper back up the middle, and it's going to get into center field. A base hit.
And James McCann hit that ball the exact same way that Luke Gregerson threw it. Here's the Mikey Montuk home run. Feliz was throwing a blazing fastball at 97, and he threw him a breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. And Mikey Montuk, he hit it, and he knew it was gone as soon as it made contact with his bat.
Montuk's second of the year RBIs, 6 and 7 on the season, tying run on now for Iglesias. And that's going to get away from the catcher, roll to the backstop. Wild pitch by Gregerson. Tying run at second.
It's the third wild pitch of the year for Luke.
One and 0 on Iglesias, 0 for 2. Fly ball pop up. Base hit might tie this one up. Couldn't hold up, went around. Feliz had a 1-2-3 6, had 2 outs here in the 7th, and the 2-run homer by Montuk. Gregerson 7 holds this year. Here's a bunt, but it's going to go foul.
It's a good idea by Iglesias. Bregman down at third base was giving him a lot of room. And you could almost anticipate that you're going to get a breaking ball from Gregerson. And that slider, that sweeping slider, is an easy ball to bunt down that third baseline if you're patient as a hitter.
Gregerson has had save situations and opportunities. Was their closer here a couple of years ago, 31 saves, 15 more last year. Little chopper right in front of the plate. Centeno, quick throw, is in time for the out.
Nice play by Centeno.
A tough play. Middle in the inning. Tigers get a 2-run shot from Montuk. Back in this game, and coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch. 3-2, the Tigers down by a run. The two-run shot by Mikey Matza has given the Tigers life. They had gone 22 innings without scoring a run.
And if anybody gets on here in the 7th inning, it'll probably be the last batter that Jordan faces. And Tigers do have some activity right now in their bullpen.
Wilson.
We talked about the Tigers bullpen at the beginning of our show today. In the month of May, they've been outstanding.
2-0 to Juan Centeno. Marisnik and then Springer here in the 7th inning for the Astros.
Centeno's got some pop in his bat. He showed that to us his last time up. An opposite field home run.
Now 3-0. Last time Zim completed 7 full innings, it was June 19th of last year. And a 1-2-3 sixth. There's a strike. 3-1. Line drive, right center field, and it's going to drop right in front of J.D. Martinez. Centeno with a 2-hit night. Fans, RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action packed with all of your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. RBIGame.com for more information.
How about Brad? I mean, the phone must not be working down in the dugout because he's using a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I have not seen this in a while.
I haven't.
Got Wilson warming up, but he's going to stay, it appears, with Zim here.
You don't really worry about this team bunting all that often. They don't sacrifice a lot. They don't give away a lot of outs, although J.D. Castellanos is in at the cut of the grass at his third base position. Marisnik does not have a sacrifice this year. Not yet.
Marisnik reaching on an infield hit. Little number right between the pitcher and the catcher in his last at bat. Centeno draws another throw.
Centeno is not running. He's a catcher. He's not the fleetest of foot. But what Zimmerman is trying to do, he's thrown over to first base a couple of times to see whether he would tip, whether he was bunting or not. And Brad also maybe was buying a little time as well to get Wilson loose.
Interesting way of buying some time. And we'll see if he's going to make the change here. Yep, he is.
Yeah, managers do that. When the reliever's not quite ready, they will have the pitcher throw over a couple of times to give the reliever a little bit more time.
So it'll be Alex Wilson coming out of the bullpen. It's another wall side windows pitching change. Will return to Houston.
And it's really started to stabilize itself in the month of May. They've had one of the best bullpens in the sport. Chad Bell has come up from the minor leagues, and he's given some life to that 5th and 6th inning. When he's not getting it done, it's Hardy pitching the 6th inning. And I love Hardy because he pitches to a lot of contact. He throws a lot of strikes, and on occasion he can get you a strikeout. But the other guys that are getting it done there, Alex Wilson has been stellar. He throws nothing but strikes. He pitches every single night if Brad would call on him. Shane Green also has been very good getting the ball to the back end guy, and that would be Justin Wilson, who has an electric fastball, and he's thrown the fastball by a lot of big league hitters all season long. So those are 4 good reasons why the Tigers bullpen is taking that next step.
Well, here's the Bernstein advantage, the bullpen ERA. This month, the Tigers at 2.80, awfully good, only behind Cleveland in the AL. Here's a line drive, base hit, right center field. Centeno is on his way to second, and that'll be a base hit for Marisnick.
Yeah, you knew Marisnick was not going to be bunting. He simply took that first pitch fastball and laced it the opposite way.
2 on, nobody out, and now you've got to deal with the top of the Houston lineup. And it's the Astros' 6th hit of the ball game.
And George Springer has been struggling. He has 1 for his last 16 with 9 strikeouts.
20th appearance of the year for Wilson. A whip of under 1, walks plus hits per innings pitched. Anything under 1 is extremely good. 3-2, Houston leads.
And something else that Alex has been very good at this year, and that's not allowing the inherited runners to score. He's inherited 8 so far this year. 2 have touched home plate.
Ground ball right back to the mound. Wilson throws it away into center field. And a run will score. A double play ball right back to Alex, and it just sailed on him.
And take a look at the infielders here. Right now you have Kinsler here, you have Iglesias. Both guys are going for the ball now. And once he gets the ball in his hand, it almost appears to me he doesn't quite know who he's going to throw it to. He drops down to a sidearm angle. Kinsler's covering the bag. He throws the ball into center field, and you cannot give the Houston Astros extra outs.
Now Josh Reddick, 1st and 3rd, nobody out, a run in. That's exactly what it looked like, right? It looked like he just wasn't sure who's going to cover.
And you usually talk about that before the pitch is even thrown. I mean, when you have yourself in a situation where there's a double play situation and the ball could come back to you as a pitcher, you have to know which guy is going to be covering the bag.
Reddick a single, a walk, and a fly ball. Astros get a run back. They lead 4-2. Reddick hammers one in the air on the line to right field. JD comes in, makes the catch. Runner tags. They're going to try and score it. Throw to the plate. Not in time. Marisnick with his speed is able to beat the throw.
That is the 4th sacrifice fly already this season for Josh Reddick. Nice job by JD Martinez with a very strong throwing arm, a 1-hopper to James McCann, but Marisnick, who was on 3rd base, just runs too well.
It's a rather aggressive play by Gary Pettis down at 3rd. The ball wasn't hit all that deep. It was on a line, but he knew Marisnick could pick him up and lay him down. And Reddick gets his 20th RBI, 5-2. Here is Altuve. Oh for 3 for Altuve.
And he loves the first pitch. Be careful.
Ooh, almost got it.
That was a really quick move by Alex.
Tigers have committed 2 costly errors in this game, one by Castellanos and one by Wilson.
Yeah, they both led to runs.
1 on Altuve. Tigers got 2 in the top of the inning on the home run by Matuk to make it a 1-run game, but the Astros have answered. One of the 2 runs in this inning will be charged to Jordan Zimmerman. Up and in. Altuve sends a ground ball up the middle. Kinsler will tag the bag there for the force.
That was a really good play by Kinsler. And the key to the play is your feet never stop moving. Look at his feet. They never stop. He gets there. There's no play at first base. He's able to get to the bag before a speedy George Springer slides in.
2 outs with Altuve at first. Here's Beltran.
Altuve will run. 9 steals. He's been caught twice.
Rolled foul, 0-1 on Beltran. Shifting on the veteran. Beltran is 0 for 3 in this game. Altuve was basically a step off the bag and just kind of fell over onto the bag.
Altuve has 199 coming into the season career steals. 9 more. Stole 30 last year. Doesn't have a big lead.
No, I was noticing that. I mean, I would think this is a spot where you'd want to get him into second base, try and steal another run here.
Yeah, get in the scoring position. I think he enjoys talking to Miguel.
Is that it?
A lot more than he wants to steal this base. They chop it up pretty good over there. Venezuelan's best right now.
1-1 on Beltran. 1-2.
And when you look at Miguel standing next to Altuve, it's quite comical. And they just chop it up.
A couple of years ago where Cabrera picked up Altuve and just pretty much threw him over his back.
Yeah, or he'll pull his shirt out of his pants. They always mess with one another. Altuve has gone on record to say that when he grew up, he idolized Miguel Cabrera, as do a lot of young Venezuelan-born players and American-born players for that matter.
Now a 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Beltran.
You cannot be so preoccupied with Altuve on first base that you do not execute your pitch to Beltran. He still has a very dangerous bat.
Little pop up, and Kinsler is under it to retire the side. They get a couple of runs to go back up by 3. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. 4-1. They come up with a big win tonight against the Reds. Got a wall side windows pitching change, as back to the bullpen go the Astros. It'll be Will Harris.
Yeah, Harris is another one of those strikeout artists out of the bullpen for Houston, averaging 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. The whip just a shade over 1. Pitching in his 19th game, he's got a good fastball, but he's got a better curveball. His curveball is not on the same level as Lance McCullers Jr., but it is a wipeout pitch for him.
Harris came on and pitched the 8th in last night's game. A 1-2-3 8th, although he faced the bottom of the lineup. Tonight he's got the top of the lineup. And it's Ian Kinsler getting it started here in the 8th. Kinsler, Castellanos, and then Miguel Cabrera. 5-2 Astros back up by 3 again. Kinsler sends a ground ball, rocket right to third. Bregman, 1 gone.
Pretty much only 2 pitches thrown by Will Harris. He'll throw you a cut fastball anywhere from 90 to 93. And when he's not throwing the cut fastball, he's throwing a curveball about 26% of the time. Had a nice conversation today with the general manager and the architect of this Houston Astros team, Jeff Luhnow. And we were talking a lot about some of the players and pitchers that he has. And they just do the same thing that everybody else does. They scout the same way, but they just have a knack of finding players like Harris and Gregerson and Keuchel and guys that have a lot of success at missing lots of bats in the big leagues. He was very modest about what he was saying, but the proof of the matter is they're doing a pretty nice job here in Houston.
Didn't want to give away any secrets, did he?
Well, they got one guy in jail now from St. Louis that tried to steal some of their stuff a couple of years ago after Luhnow left the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, so apparently they do have some top secret stuff.
Well, they've done a really good job of turning things around here in Houston. There's a high fly ball to right field shallow. Springer is under it, and 2 up, 2 down. Hey, see the Tigers battle the White Sox Saturday, June 3rd at 4:10 p.m. It's play ball weekend. Be sure to arrive early because the first 2,500 kids 14 and under receive a play ball bat and ball set, courtesy of MLB. For tickets, go to tigers.com or 866-66-TIGER. Here is Miggy. Singled in 3 at bats tonight for Cabrera. Ball 1 high. The Astros have quite a few guys at the back end of their pen that have closed games. They have a lot of experience doing that. We talked about Gregerson, he's done it. Giles last night. Harris has also closed games. And what it does is give you options, because your closer, whoever that may be, is not going to be available every single night.
And they also have a bullpen that's built where they have a couple of different long men down there. And Phillies can be a long man. Davinsky, who we saw last night with that power changeup, he can give them more than 1 inning. In a day and age where most bullpens only have 1 really long guy and everybody else is kind of short, they've got a couple of guys that can give them some innings.
1-2 on Cabrera. Fought that one off.
You know, something else that the Astros do, not only are they very heavy into the numbers game in the big leagues, but it trickles all the way down to the Dominican Summer League. They are heavily looking at numbers and tendencies of the kids that are playing in the Dominican Summer League, not only all the affiliates here stateside. So they bought all in.
Cabrera would not chase. Warwick Soppold is warming up.
And he was just called up yesterday when Anibal Sanchez accepted an assignment to go down to the minor leagues to start.
Miggy takes another one outside.
And Miggy doing a wonderful job of laying off this curveball that Will Harris continues to try to get Miggy to chase.
The Astros wasn't too long ago. They lost 111 ball games. Back in 2013, they've showed progress each year. Here's the 3-2. Up and in. He walked him, and that'll be ball 4 for Cabrera. 2-out base runner. It'll bring up Victor Martinez. V-Mart started things off in the 7th with a walk and eventually came around on the Matuk 2-run homer.
If Harris makes a mistake with one of these cut fastballs, he could leak one right into the happy zone of Victor Martinez, and he could turn on one and hit it over that right field wall. And Victor homered just a few days ago at Comerica Park, the final game before he left.
Harris missing low. Gregerson came on in the 7th, got the final out after the home run by Matuk, and now Harris here in the 8th. That ball is hit in the air to right field. Back to the corner goes Springer right in front of the wall to make the cover.
He missed it. He almost got it.
Bottom of the 8th coming up.
Call Sam call of the game. Michael Phillies was on the mound for the Houston Astros. He threw Mikey Matuk a couple of fastballs to get ahead, and then 2 straight breaking balls, the second of which at 84 hit Mikey Matuk's bat, and he hit it out of the ballpark for the 2 runs the Tigers have scored in the series.
So Matuk getting the start today against McCullers comes through, but the Tigers still down by 3.
Yeah, Matuk might get another start tomorrow with the Tigers offense not necessarily swinging the bats all that effectively last 2 days.
Warwick Sapolda's on now for the Tigers.
Good numbers for Sapolda down in the minor leagues. He had 7 starts down there. He had a really good ERA and 33 strikeouts. He's walked 17. The 17 walks kind of high and for Ward because he has been a guy since he's been in a Tigers uniform that throws a lot of strikes.
Marwin Gonzalez leads it off for the Astros. It'll be Gonzalez, Gurriel, and Bregman. Marwin is 0 for 3 in this game. Two and 0. Soppold called up, as we mentioned, when Sanchez went down to AAA. There's Giles, their closer, warming up.
And Giles will be pitching in his 3rd consecutive day once he enters here in the 9th.
Fly ball in the air toward left field. Hit deep, backing up is up, then leaping, can't get it. Off the wall. Gonzalez hits the bag at second. He'll stop there, and he has a leadoff double in the 8th.
This place is a bandbox, man. I mean, that ball flipped the opposite way. It's the 2nd night in a row, and that Marwin Gonzalez flipped something off the out-of-town scoreboard for a double. When this ball leaves his bat, it looks like it's going to be a lazy fly ball to left field to Justin. And the ball just continued to carry and carry and carry until it goes off the wall. And J.Up couldn't make the play.
He just missed that. Well, the Centennial home run, the opposite field, kind of surprised me a little bit as well. But that was hit out to 404. Here's Gurriel.
And Gurriel will still play the game the right way with nobody out. He will try to hit something through the right side of the infield. Miguel Cabrera basically the only player on that side. Justin Upton got real close to making this play.
Ooh, inches. That come out of there again, 2-0.
And Soppold knows exactly what Gurriel is trying to accomplish, trying to hit something to the right side of the infield. Therefore, the first 2 pitches by Soppold were fastballs inside.
And the team has a hit with men in scoring position again tonight.
It's the 2nd consecutive night.
That's fouled straight back.
How do you go 2 straight nights where either team has a hit with a runner in scoring position?
Well, and especially this Houston team, which is in a really bad stretch right now. They got swept by Cleveland, but won last night. But they've gone quite a few at-bats now without a hit with men in scoring position.
And coming into play tonight, these were 2 of your higher scoring offenses in baseball. They were averaging between them 10 runs a game.
Two and 2 on Gurriel. You saw Hoyt warming up. If the Astros add on to their lead, he more than likely would come in. Otherwise, it's Giles. Second stint for Soppold with the Tigers this year. There goes the runner to third. Now they're going to throw and get him in a rundown. And the ball is dropped. Quick throw to second is in. No, they called him safe.
Oh, my goodness.
How in the world did he get out of that? Castellanos couldn't handle it cleanly. Gonzalez was given an opportunity to dive back in. We'll see if the Tigers challenge.
But once Castellanos was able to pick it up, he just assumed that Gonzalez was going to be safe. And once he threw the ball to Ian Kinsler, Ian was able to apply the tag, but it looked like Gonzalez was able to get that right hand in there safely. But once Nick picked the ball up initially after not handling it, he didn't throw it right away.
No. And he was safe. No challenge. Boy, they got out of one there. Well, 2 errors tonight for the Tigers, and now this play. Inside 3 and 2 on Gurriel.
Well, they gave Castellanos an error on that play.
They did. That'll be his second of the game.
Well, and when you look at the replay, you can see why they did give him an error, to be honest with you. So a caught stealing in an error.
Here's the 3-2. In the air to right field. Martinez will make the catch. Runner will tag. And the throw to third is not in time.
What a throw by JD.
JT unleashed. And he almost got Gonzalez, who's out of breath right now. And we'll see if the Tigers challenge this.
Hey, you got nothing to lose to challenge one of these. Gonzalez kind of got back to the bag and nonchalantly took off. And JD Martinez airmailed the cutoff man. He threw a strike all the way to Castellanos. So Castellanos applies the tag, but not before. And he's able to get in safely.
Ooh, that was close. So the infield coming in now. It's been an adventure for Marwin Gonzalez on the base paths. One away. Here's Bregman. Infield in. Strike one in the outer edge. Bregman has hit the ball on the ground 3 times. One of those a double play. Swing and a miss.
He has been a very good hitter this year with runners in scoring position. He's been one of their better hitters in these type of situations. One of the best in the big leagues, as a matter of fact.
.371 RISP. Runners in scoring position for Bregman. Ball high, 1-2. Centeno waiting on deck. Tigers trail 5-2 in the 8th. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 gone. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. And by Tim Hortons. Purchase coffee at Tim Hortons on May 31st and send a deserving child to camp. Centeno will be walked intentionally here. That'll put runners at first and third. And it's going to bring up Marisnick, who had a single in his last at bat.
He jumped on the first pitch that he saw from Alex Wilson.
Two out of 3 tonight for Marisnick. He also has an infield single. Strike one. Tigers down by 3, trying to keep it that way. Gonzalez at third, Centeno at first. 1 ball and 1 strike. Three big errors tonight for the Tigers. 2 of them directly led to runs. We'll see if the error here in the 8th has any bearing. Strike called. And Marisnick thought that was inside.
A lot of fastballs inside in this inning thrown by Warwick Sapo. Pitching aggressively inside. You can see 2 pitches way in off the plate. 1 down at the bottom of the strike zone, according to Fox Tracks.
Sapo tried to get him to leave the strike zone. Marisnick would not do it. 2-2. 2 more games between these 2 teams in this ballpark.
And Tigers knew when they embarked on this 11-day, 10-game trip, it was going to be a grueling trip. It was going to be a tough trip.
Ground ball up the middle and into center field. The base hit. Marisnik has his third hit of the game. Another run scores to make it 6-2 Houston.
It's almost like he was waiting for that breaking ball. Waited very patiently on the breaking ball and right underneath the glove of Sapo.
That'll bring us Springer. Well, they walked Centeno to get to the number 9 hitter Marisnik, and he made him pay. Swing and a miss.
A huge swing by George Springer.
Springer was involved in probably the biggest play of this game. The Tigers had gotten it to within 1. His ground ball back to the mound looked like a sure double play, but it was thrown into center field by Wilson.
Yeah, Tigers haven't helped themselves at all tonight defensively. And when you're having a difficult time of scoring runs, you must play a cleaner brand of baseball.
0-2. Fly ball. Right field for J.D. Martinez. And that'll end the inning. They tack on another run. We go to the 9th. Last call for the Tigers again. 6-2. Only 3 hits in this ball game for the Tigers, and now they will face James Hoyt, who has come into the ball game.
And so it's not Ken Giles, it's James Hoyt. Hoyt has a fastball that averages about 93. He'll get up to 95. He also has a slider that he throws quite often, and he also features a split-fingered fastball. So 3 pitches for Hoyt.
J.D. Martinez, Justin Upton, Mikey Matsuk. J.D. looks at the ball high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Hoyt, an interesting story. Went undrafted out of junior college and started building sailboats and got bored doing that and played a few years of independent ball in Yuma, Arizona. He once played for Jose Canseco in Yuma independent ball. that league folded, and he was signed by the Atlanta Braves, played in the minor leagues with them, and then came over to the Houston Astros in the Evan Gattis deal.
He's another guy that piles up a lot of strikeouts. He's got a strikeouts per 9 of 17, but when you talk about a crazy path to the big leagues, I mean, we talk about guys that maybe play some indie ball and stuff like that.
Right.
This is a really nutty path.
He started his career in indie ball. A lot of times guys will be playing professional baseball, then have to go to indie ball after they get hurt or they're trying to jumpstart their careers again.
There's a base hit up the middle, single for J.D. Martinez.
It just goes to show you, if you can pitch, if you can get hitters out, somebody will find you.
Now Justin Upton will step in. Tigers have their 4th hit. Jay Up is 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts and a flyout. In there, a strike call.
One of the reasons why Hoyt probably did not get recognized back in high school, he grew up in Boise, in Idaho. They don't play a whole lot of baseball up there. They probably play some summer ball, and the weather's not conducive for guys that are born in Idaho to play as much baseball as some of the other warmer weather states.
Ever been to Boise?
I have not.
Beautiful city.
I've heard that.
Really beautiful city, but you're right. I mean, they can't be playing a whole lot of games there in the summertime. He came along with Evan Gattis from the Atlanta Braves in a deal that was made in 2015.
He was working on sailboats in San Diego. That's a pretty good gig.
Yeah, it is.
Anything in San Diego.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Tigers need a few more base runners here. Down 6-2. We're in the 9th. Swing and a miss, man. Jay Up really struggling right now. His 3rd strikeout tonight. And that is 8 more punch-outs for Houston pitching.
It just seems like the Tigers' bats have gone stone cold together. I mean, usually you have 1 or 2 guys that are not necessarily swinging the bats all that well, but right now, collectively as a group, they're not swinging the bats well. And many thought once J.D. Martinez came back, this offense would just take off.
That'll get away from the catcher, but not far enough. Well, J.D. certainly provided a spark the minute he came back. Was hitting a lot of home runs.
Yeah, he did.
But the Tigers last night managed only 1 hit. That was a single by Matuk, and tonight Mikey a 2-run shot to give them a couple of runs. That'll miss outside. 2-0 on Matuk.
That one went up there in the
radio booth.
Visiting radio booth. I think Jim Price ducked.
Dan and Jim hopefully are okay.
I don't know. Better check on Jimbo over there.
You've got no faith, do you?
Well, no.
Popped him up. Shallow center field. It's going to be Marisnik. And they're 2 gone. Tigers down to the final out.
Look at Jim.
Jim's okay. He's fine.
He's all right now.
Look at Dan. I got a game to call, man.
Yeah, he's not interested at all. Jim's trying to get his attention. Look at Jim. He better ice his elbow after throwing that ball in the stand.
2 gone. Here is Collins batting for McCann. And Tyler looks at ball 1. .209 this year for Collins. Ball 2. Tyler's had 4 pinch hitting appearances this year. 0 for 4. They play to pull on the infield. Bouncing ball right side, should do it. Gurriel tags the bag, and the Astros will win the first 2 games in the series. 6-2 final. Now we send you to the Coliseum Studios. John Keating standing by with Tigers Live postgame.